Today, we live in a world of celebrity. We live in a world of Hollywood, Netflix, all kinds of entertainment that we can think of. And we follow the major actors and actresses. We look at their lives and read their stories and bios and magazines, and we watch them on television, and we just are caught up in an area of being a fan of a celebrity. But what basically is a celebrity? It's somebody that's out there that's putting their image forward. For most cases, it's actors and actresses. And what you follow them for is their movies or their television shows or whatever. But you know, that's as phony as they can get. Because when they are doing their job, they're taking on a role as someone else. And they're such good actors and actresses that you can't tell the difference between themselves and the role that they adopt. Because that's what they do. They make sure that they can take that role and make it themselves. That's all celebrity is. It's phony. It's being something that you're really not. You're not those people in the movies. Those people in the movies are just scripted roles. The person that lives beyond that could have a life that's just so beyond and bizarre, as which you can see in Hollywood today, that it has nothing to do with reality. And yet people follow this all the time. We're caught in a celebrity-driven world. Or a basketball player, or a football player, or a baseball player, or a soccer player. Yeah, they can kick a ball, or throw a ball, or bat a ball, or get a three-pointer. It doesn't matter. They're just playing a game. It's not who they are. See, what we do is we buy into phoniness. Why? Don't ask me. It's beyond me. But you know, there's one person who was a celebrity, and he lived 2,000 years ago. And he's the only celebrity, I can tell you right now, that will still be being thought of and even remembered 2,000 years from now. These new phony baloney people that you see in Hollywood aren't going to remember 2 years from now, because people have an extension span of about 15 minutes today. They don't care. Life is shallow for most people. It's an instantaneous thing. We're stuck on our cell phones where we're getting instantaneous satisfaction at every moment of our lives. When we want to know something, we just go on our cell phone, get at the internet, and troll it and see what's going on. We don't have time to process anymore. We don't have time to think about what it is to really be real. And the one person and the only celebrity that can give us that information and can give us that fulfillment by following him is Jesus. He's the only one who's sincere enough to know that the role that he plays in life is who he really is, as the second person of the Blessed Trinity. And I can guarantee you, he's the only celebrity you'll know that will have the courage to give himself up and die for you. Yes, die for you. Will any actor or actress or sports fan or sports person you know give up their life for you? Not really. Because they don't even know you. You're just a pinhead in a sea of thousands of people who claim that they're fans. But Jesus does know you. He knows your heart. He knows your every thought. He knows your every moment of life. And he loves it. He loves you. He's not phony. He's not going to give in the... It's not the kind of phony love you see in Hollywood, which is really just lust, sex, use of the human person. No, Jesus looked beyond the sin to see the sinner and healed them. Jesus looked at the sick and gave them health. He looked at the blind, not only just physically, but psychologically, and gave them sight. Yes, Jesus was always aware of the imperfections of the human race. And he came to show us that he did have the power, and he did have the ability to change that. And he can do that with you. Oh, we all have imperfections. We all have pockmarks. We're all spiritual lepers. We all need redemption. And that's what Jesus gives us. Jesus is the ultimate Redeemer. He's the one who has total mercy for you and for me. And He will forgive us our faults and failings. And He will hold us in the palm of His hands. And He asks us to come. And He wants to put His arms around us and give us a hug. And He wants to tell us, it's okay. It's okay. You made a mistake. That's fine. But you start again. I will be with you. And as long as we place ourselves into the hands of God and let Jesus lead us, because He is the way, our truth, and our life, as well as being the light of the world in this darkness, then what have we got to worry about? No matter how bad things get, and things look right now like they can't get any worse, we know that they will, but they are pretty desperate right now, that He is there. And you can say, how can God be here when all this stuff is going on in our world today? We're seeing people being slaughtered in war. We're seeing people being abused in domestic relationships. We're seeing people being cattle-driven, cross borders, and traded for pure money laundering. And this is the ultimate debasement of human society. And yet, it's going on everywhere. How can God allow that? Bad things can happen to good people because we're human and people make choices. And sorry to say, other people's choices do affect us, no matter how good we may be. Because we're all connected in the fabric of time and space and society that we live in. And we live in a crazy society. We live in a society that's pulling apart culture. Everything that we knew before has to be torn down because of this new world order or whatever it is that people are buying into. That everything has to be different because what was old was bad. And that's so wrong. No, it's being controlled by the devil. He's in control of all of this, and we've got to stop it. And you can say, well, how can I possibly stop it? We can stop it by being true to ourselves. And if we're true to ourselves, we'll be true to Jesus. And if we're true to Jesus, we're true to the will of the Father. And that's what God wants for us. He wants His truth to be our truth. He wants His reality to be our reality. No illusions. He wants His goodness to be our goodness. And He wants His forgiveness to be our forgiveness. So, when we look at the craziness of our society today, and we look at the illusions that it presents to us, the question is, which one am I going to focus on? And what am I going to put as the priorities in my life that I will follow so that in the end, that focus will be on my eternal salvation?